On Merseyside, there's a hoarder who had his home decluttered 8 years ago. But you wouldn't know that now. 64-year-old Nigel shares his 3-bedroom flat with 7 sewing machines, yards of fabric, and his cat, Bindi.
I have many hobbies: sewing, machine knitting, crochet, hand knitting, quilting, patchwork. I use 1 bedroom for my knitting room, 1 bedroom as a sewing room. We have the lounge, the bedroom, the kitchen and the bathroom. Things have sort of spread a bit. I try to explain to people who don't have the hoarding disorder how things are and how your mind goes, how your emotions go, but they just don't seem to understand it.
Nigel started hoarding when his partner Sid passed away in 2002. He got help in 2011 when his home was cleared by cleaning experts, the declutter divas. But since then, he has gone back to his hoarding ways.
I tried not to get into this situation again, but I think losing Sid was one of the major things that happened that sort of took me a long time to come to terms with. I think that would probably just tip me over the top.
Many hoarders are reluctant to find help because they feel ashamed, humiliated, or guilty.
It can be embarrassing, so there's nobody really been in the flat for a few years now.
But being one of over 1 million recognised hoarders in the UK does give Nigel some comfort.
There are other hoarders out there that are in the same situation as me. It would be good to maybe have contact with some of them at some point.
Coming up, we meet a hoarder who's not giving anything away.
No, these aren't to go.
Nigel gets a wake-up call.
Now is the time to act before we are digging you out of this in 5-10 years' time.
And the vast majority of hoarders live in denial and never see their hoard through someone else's eyes. But today, Janice is visiting Nigel. Could this be a breakthrough moment for one or both?
I was hoping to get some tips on maybe not doing it again. You know, me would help, wouldn't it?
Feeling a bit apprehensive because nobody really visits the flat. I don't invite people in. Hopefully, because she is a hoarder herself, she will understand more the situation. Hello.
It's a real eye-opener for Janice.
I don't know what to say, honestly. Do you need so many sewing machines?
Yeah.
Do you think people understand hoarders?
No, most of the people just think you're lazy, dirty, can't be bothered.
Do you think that?
Yes, I've had it previously.
Oh, have you?
Yes. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, people just don't get it. This is the kitchen, not the tidiest.
It frightens me a bit that if it hadn't have been for a broken boiler, I could have gone further, you know, and just...
I think it's quite good to talk to other hoarders because you don't really get the chance.
No, you don't.
And you can't really talk to other people.
It's someone who understands.
Exactly.
Because they're in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's now got to stop and I've got to get back to back to how I want it, basically.
Yeah. It will make an awful lot of difference to your life as well as,
yes.
You know, you would be able to invite people in.
You're probably one of the first one that's been in here for a long, long time.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that will change.
Yes, it is actually.
It was nice to chat with another hoarder and pick up their thoughts on my hoard and little suggestions about what might help. It was good to talk to somebody else who understands.
There's too much stuff and it was smelly, and I couldn't breathe. I was quite shocked that you could put so much in one tiny space, whereas I have a house. It's food for thought.
Janice has decided enough is enough, and she's started to clear her hoard.
I don't know where I found the strength from to get rid of the stuff, but I knew that I had to, just for my own well-being.
After seeing Nigel's flat, she's determined not to suffer the same fate.
I felt that I had to clear it myself.
And now it's time for the return visit as Nigel heads into Liverpool.
Hiya.
Janice shows Nigel her clearing is still far from over.
Come out here and I'll show you in here. This I haven't done yet.
Yeah, you got quite a lot to go through like I had.
Yes. It's a lot, but I'll get it done in the end.
It's good you're managing to tackle it. I know it takes time.
Yes,
Maybe just sort one box or one bag at a time and go through it.
Yeah, but if you do it that way, it takes too long. I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I just want it gone now.
Yeah.
The kitchen was like yours. It was completely full.
Yes.
And you couldn't see the worktops. It's a lot less than it was. It was completely full. I'll show you upstairs. This is my bedroom.
Quite a lot of clothes to go through.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I've done it all myself, and I'm quite pleased that it's all going to go.
Although they are united as hoarders, Janice and Nigel don't agree on the causes of hoarding.
This is a mental health issue. It was made a mental health issue a few years ago.
I don't agree. I think it's more loneliness than anything.
Well, I can't say I'm lonely really because I'm out 3-4 days a week. But this is the different ways it affects people and how people feel.
Yes, it will do.
Well, it's been lovely to come over and meet you and see how you're progressing. And I think really you've done well to get all this organised and sorted. Just keep up the good work.
I will.
Good.
I'm determined. Very nice to see. Felt very uncomfortable having Nigel in the house. I felt really embarrassed to show someone else my hoard.
Nigel has got previous as a hoarder. In 2011, his home was cleared, but since then, he's gone back to his hoarding ways.
I think sometimes when you're hoarding, you don't always see what you've got around you. You tend to blank it out. It is very complicated because your mind works so differently than other people, but they don't understand the emotions, what goes off in your head, how you feel, how things make you feel.
So today, help is at hand. Psychologist and hoarding expert Claire Darhill is paying a visit to help him on the road to recovery.
The problem is always up here for the way the hoarder thinks. So people think, oh, we'll clear the house and that'll be fine and it'll get rid of the problem. But the problem is the hoarder's faulty thoughts and feelings about their possessions. Hiya, Nigel.
Hiya.
I'm Claire.
Come in.
Yeah, thank you. How long has this taken to reach this level?
I would say it's got this bad over the last 12 months.
Okay.
So a lot of it is things that I'm in the middle of doing, things that I keep saying I must get around to finishing off. But then instead of finishing one, then I wanted to start another one and then another one and so on and so on.
Maybe you're distracting yourself a lot of the time. The way that you really feel, we're keeping busy. I see your body's feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because we're coming to the root of something that makes you feel uncomfortable, that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to think about. So tell me about the bereavement.
I lost my partner through cancer. It was quite quick in a way. there wasn't a lot of time to think really about what was happening. It was just a case of, you just got to do what you can do and that's it. So that was quite traumatic.
What would he think if he saw this?
He would be horrified, really, because we were both very house proud.
What happened with so many hoarders is that process, that digestion has stopped. It's not a favoured thing, so we'll do other things instead. We'll collect, we'll accumulate, we'll keep busy rather than have the time to sit and think about the bereavement, the depression, the illness. And so what you've done here, you've blocked all of that up perfectly. You've gone back to a coping mechanism. So a little bit like if somebody had a drug or an alcohol problem, when things came to crunch time in their life, they will often slip back. And that's in effect where you are right now.
Yeah, I suppose I realise it's becoming bad, but I don't know. I just think, well, it's not as bad as it was. I think it's just, I've got my hobbies and they've just sort of got a bit out of hand.
You need to accept how bad this has become. This is not just a little bit of gotten behind. This is, we've relapsed. OK, that's fine. But now is the time to act before we are digging you out of this in 5, 10 years' time. I think it's like many hoarders, Nigel's got a lot of issues around undigested grief. A lot of the regulation has gone from his life with the loss of his partner. And I think that's been huge, and I don't really think Nigel's accepted the gravity of that and the impact it's had on him and his behaviour. Nigel and I have talked today about the things that he can do that would be helpful for him. Some coping strategies, just spending 10 minutes a day, sitting with his thoughts, maybe allowing himself to process some of the grief and the loss that he has experienced rather than just this keep him busy mentality that he seems to have that's just adding to his hoarding problems.
And with a new sense of determination, Nigel has raised the alarm. And specialist cleaners, the decluttered divas, are back for a second time to help him with his hoarding ways.
Sort of feeling quite excited about seeing the divas, but a bit apprehensive as well.
I'm really interested to see how extreme it is. Obviously, because we're back, I feel that it's obviously going to be quite a lot to do.
We will have a chat to Nigel and see where he is, see where it all went wrong, and see how we can go forward.
I hope you're going to be firm today. Second time round now, you've got to play hardball with him.
As you know, I'm the softer one out of the two.
No, you need to firm up.
Coming in.
We certainly are. Come on then.
Wow.
I can smell it. Can you, Ellie?
I've got a little problem with little madam. She tends to piddle in this corner.
Yeah. I can smell it a little bit. Can you? The ammonia.
Well, no, because I've got no sense of smell.
It's chaos. It's chaos at the moment.
Yeah.
You've got one tiny area to sit. You don't like it like this, do you? Really?
Yeah, I love it.
No, you don't. Why are we here? You don't, do you?
No, I don't.
How many knitting machines you got, darling?
2, 3, 4, probably 5 plus the 2 in there.
It seems an awful lot of machines. You need them all.
Yes.
No, I'm just checking.
It's a tall order, and there's no time to spare.
Right, plan of action this morning then is the hall and the lounge.
It's a shame, but unfortunately, because of the things that have happened to Nigel, that is what's caused it all.
I think what we have to understand is when traumas happen and episodes, losses, whatever, you know, we don't all act the same. We're all affected by this differently. Some of us are able to pick ourselves up. Sometimes health comes an issue. I'm pleased we're coming back, but I do feel this time I've got to be a little bit firmer, and I want him to really work. And I think he knows we really mean business, and I really want to give him back his home.
They have 2 days to clean, clear, and declutter the flat.
It's quite a good feeling knowing that I'm starting to get rid of the things that have been causing me problems.
That's perfect. Come on, Nigel. So we're going to try and put these things into order. So you need to identify things that you know that can go, whether it's to charity, whether it's to your knitting ladies, whatever. But
Right.
so in here, in this box here, start to declutter those bits for me, just so I can see what's worth keeping. You're not listening to me now, are you?
Yes, I am.
You switched off.
I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it can be a bit overfacing if you're trying to do too much at one time. So.
Am I going too fast for you, Nigel?
No, I'm all right now.
You need to just sit down now.
I need to sit down, yeah.
Okay, got it?
Yeah. There's no point in carrying on when someone's starting to feel jaded and overwhelmed, so that'll be the key, watching him.
I can be very stubborn at times. If somebody pushes and pushes and pushes, I will just dig my heels in and they just won't get anywhere. She's not going there yet.
It's right.
You got it?
Yeah.
It's coming to the end of the first day.
I think Nigel's worked really hard today.
You have? Really,
Considering how much stuff is in here and how long we've been engaged today, I think you've done well.
Yeah,
And you're still smiling.
still smiling up to now, yeah.
He's been more focused, more committed than I expected.
We've tried to concentrate on getting the rubbish out today, the things that he really doesn't need.
He has got to lose a lot of stuff tomorrow.
Policy. It's the last day of Nigel's clearance, and there's still lots for the divas to do. But there's something blocking their progress.
Now we're going to start this room, which, as you can see, it's a huge challenge. So here goes.
This is the one that you're going to go through. Here's your shredding bag
Yep.
for anything that's confidential.
So this is my homework while the girls start emptying the other room.
When we're working in a confined space, it just makes everything so much more difficult. A lot of people have the hobbies. They spend their time collecting everything. But unfortunately, the one thing they really want to do, they can't get to do because the actual haul stops them enjoying what they really need to enjoy. That's the shame of it. We've got a hell of a lot to get through.
But before anything can be thrown away, Nigel has to give the go-ahead.
Kate?
Yeah. Bin.
Bin, that one.
Yeah. Go in.
Charity?
Yeah. Yeah, they can all. No, the cream, I know I've got a blanket part done. It's the cream and that need to be kept.
We have to get the space to bring all this stuff in to make sure we can categorise it and make sure he's keeping the right stuff, and then he can actually enjoy what he's got.
So, we have our first full bag of donation wool.
Fantastic, Nigel!
But as fast as Zoe is making space, Nigel wants to fill it.
I can actually now hopefully bring one of the machines back out the bedroom into here.
What, big machine?
Yeah.
Well, where are you going to put it? An hour to finish off what we're doing. Which is still quite a lot of stuff to get through. It's never fast work when you're working with people like Nigel, and you can only declutter so much because that's as much as you're going to get away with before they would get really distressed with you. Right, let's finish these last bits, Nigel.
Right.
We've got all of the little time left.
The decluttered divas are making plans for Nigel.
Some of these items in here he hasn't seen for many years. So he's going to play a bit of a game with himself, saying it's going to be saying to him, oh, come to me, I want it. Because his passion is the craft. But he's also got to actually really be honest with himself and say, am I really liking it that now? Am I going to do that? Am I going to achieve that now? Before I thought I could, but now I know it's not reasonable. So he has to let go.
Zoe and Alison have finally finished cleaning and reorganising Nigel's flat.
Well, Nigel. Well done, Nigel. I think you've worked really hard. Haven't you? Oh, please don't cry.
It's all right. When there's somebody there, it gives you the motivation to do it. Whereas if you're on your own...
And that is it.
It's
a lot
key.
of people just need that helping hand.
Yeah.
Because it is difficult to do it on your own.
Those tears now are tears of happiness, so
Yeah.
that's good for you.
You take care, Nigel. See you
bless
later.
Come here, give us a hug. Oh, bless you. Take care, Nigel.
All the best.
All right.
Look after yourself.
Yeah, bye.
I didn't actually expect him to have tears, but it was tears of joy. It is difficult for him, but I think this time he's actually got it.
It looks great in here. The difference is amazing. Got all the space back. Having everything tidy, clean will make a big difference because it will make it a lot easier for me to get around the flat, to do the things I want to do, maybe have visitors back in. It is going to make a big difference. Yeah.